You ever argue with someone and halfway through think, "Hold up, why am I defending things I never even said?" Yeah, that's not communication. That's a trap. With a narcissist, you're not having a conversation. You're performing in their script. They already know the ending. You're just reacting on cue. And the moment you start reacting, they win. A narcissist doesn't chase truth. They chase control. And your reaction, every sigh, every explanation, every angry paragraph, is proof they still run the show. If you keep fighting for honesty in a game built for domination, you lose every time. Welcome to Dark Authority. Here, we don't do healing journeys. We don't sit in circles holding hands. We study power. We study control systems. And we dismantle them one move at a time. Narcissism isn't a personality quirk. It's not, "Oh, he's just dramatic." It's an attention-based power economy. Their oxygen is your reaction. Today, you learn how to cut the oxygen at the source. Let me tell you something no one wants to admit. A narcissist doesn't care if you love them or hate them. Both give them power. What terrifies them is silence. Silence means the performance is over. And without an audience, their ego suffocates. Every time you explain yourself, every time you justify a text delay, every time you defend your intentions, you're giving them oxygen. You think you're clarifying. They think you're confirming relevance. You want peace? Stop giving them air. Watch how fast they spiral. Let me show you how predictable this is. Example 1. The ex. They text, "Guess you don't care anymore." You reply with a paragraph. They smile at their screen. You weren't communicating. You were donating. Example 2. The boss. He praises you Monday, humiliates you Friday. You think he's inconsistent. He's not. That's dosage control. Addiction by inconsistency. Example 3. The parent. I guess you never call anymore. Translation. Pay the tax for access to me. Different roles, same mechanism. For them, any emotion you give, fear, guilt, anger, affection, is oxygen. Here's the part that stings. They don't control you with anger. They control you with maybe. Maybe they'll apologize. Maybe today's different. Maybe they'll finally see your side. Your brain doesn't get addicted to love. It gets addicted to the unpredictability of it. Casinos use it. Manipulators perfected it. Intermittent reinforcement. Reward, withdrawal. Reward, withdrawal. Until uncertainty becomes glue. If you're still guessing, you're still under control. The human brain fears uncertainty more than pain. People in studies preferred scheduled electric shocks over random ones. Predictable pain feels safer than chaos. That's why you stayed longer than you should have. Not because you were weak, but because the pattern felt familiar. The narcissist becomes the shock button you can't stop pressing. They don't even need to love you. They just need to keep you guessing. So here's the move they never expect. Silence. Not passive-aggressive silence. Not silence to manipulate. I'm talking strategic silence. Silence that removes oxygen, not as punishment, but as protection. Once you stop explaining yourself, the performance collapses. And the first thing they feel is not sadness, not regret, withdrawal. Rage, guilt trips, fake vulnerability, sudden emergencies. That's not emotion. That's addiction screaming for a fix. Hold the silence anyway. Picture the office bully. He compliments you loudly in front of the team, then privately nitpicks you to death over a comma. You scramble to fix it, not because of the comma, because you're chasing the high of Monday's praise. Now watch this. Deliver your work. Say nothing extra. No tension, no nervous energy, just quiet competence. He'll escalate at first, waiting for your usual reaction. Give him nothing. Within days, he'll move to a new target. Starvation isn't entertaining. At home, the tactics look softer. The psychology doesn't. They storm out, disappear for hours. You chase them with texts, apologies, calls, anything to stop the silence. They return calm. You think the storm has passed. No, they just cashed in. That smile is profit. Next time they leave, you don't chase. You live your night. Watch what happens. Sudden concern, accusations, you don't care. Fake emergencies, random tenderness. That's not connection. That's a protest for supply. Your move is simple. I'm available to talk when you're calm. Period. No essays, no debates, no midnight explanations. Family can run the same economy. Guess you never call anymore. That's not love. That's taxation. Your response: I'll call when I can. No apology, no justification. If they escalate, that's guilt. Keep it respectful or I'll make the calls shorter. You're not being selfish. You're ending a hierarchy. Respect is not optional just because someone shares your last name. The real fight isn't with them. It's with your biology. They withdraw, cortisol rises. They return, dopamine hits. You mistake relief for love, but it's just contrast. And the only way out is rewiring. Slow breath, long exhale, short replies, no justification, no triple-checking the message. The first 24 to 72 hours feel wrong, shaky, empty, restless. That isn't proof you're losing them. It's proof you're losing the addiction. You breathe. They panic. That's the beginning of your freedom. Try this in the next 24 hours. Someone who drains you sends a bait text. Wait. Not an hour. Half a day. No explanation, no apology. Just stillness. They'll spiral. You'll shake. That's both of your withdrawals. Write it out. If you check the read receipt, relapse. If you reread your message, relapse. Hold the line. Watch their story fall apart when attention stops being free. Prepare for chaos, anger, pity, nostalgia, fear, sudden softness, sudden threats. This is an extinction burst. When the rat stops getting food from the lever, it slams the lever harder before giving up. Humans do the same, except the lever is you. Break silence too early, you reset the experiment. Silence feels weak at first, because you're used to equating noise with control. But power isn't loud. Power is posture. Every second you resist explaining yourself, you rewire your brain from validation back to sovereignty. Less anxiety, shorter texts, more sleep. That's not boredom. That's recovery. Sit in it. You earned it. You just learned how silence ends the personal war. But here's the question no one ever asks. If one person starving a manipulator can collapse their control, what happens when an entire crowd does it? This game isn't just in relationships. It's in corporations, media, governments. Outrage feeds the throne. Attention funds the empire. Thank you for staying until the end of Dark Authority's Episode 1 of How Narcissists Control You and How to Starve Their Power. If you made it this far, you're already ahead of most people who get caught in these patterns. Part 2 reveals the law they never want you to discover. Silence isn't retreat. It's rebellion. That's next. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more content about power dynamics, human behavior, psychological strategy, influence, and the hidden systems that shape how people think, act, and respond. Dark Authority isn't motivation. It's illumination. And this series is only getting started.